Have you ever wondered what it takes for someone to miss you so deeply that your presence lingers in their mind like a beautiful melody they can't forget? Maybe it's someone you admire, a connection that feels out of reach, or perhaps even a lost love you're yearning to rekindle. Whatever the case, the question is universal. How can I make them miss me, even if they're not interested right now? Let's be honest, the relationships we idealize, the movie-like romances or the perfect couples we see on social media, are rarely real. They're curated for the camera, carefully edited, and entirely disconnected from the raw, unfiltered reality of human connection. Yet these polished fantasies create a deep yearning in us. Why? Because they seem effortless, magical, and completely unattainable. But here's the truth. Real relationships are messy, unpredictable, and beautifully imperfect. And the best part, you don't need to manipulate anyone or fake anything to become someone unforgettable. Instead, you must adopt a mindset rooted in Stoicism, where you focus on controlling your own actions, mastering your emotions, and becoming the kind of person who naturally leaves an impression. Imagine that for a moment. You're not chasing their attention. Instead, your authentic presence draws them toward you. In this journey, you'll discover 9 transformative habits that align with Stoic philosophy. These are not tricks or gimmicks, they're principles that help you build inner strength, confidence, and a magnetic authenticity. If you stay with me until the end, you'll learn the most powerful habit of all, one that ties everything together and ensures lasting change. Ready to take control of your narrative? Let's begin. 1. Show your true show. What does it mean to show your true self? In a world where so many people wear masks, pretending to be something they're not to gain approval or affection, authenticity is a rare and precious quality. Ask yourself, when was the last time I allowed someone to see the real me, flaws and all? If you're hesitating, you're not alone. Most of us are taught, consciously or unconsciously, that we need to mold ourselves into what others want in order to be loved. But let me challenge that idea. Why would you want someone to miss a version of you that isn't real? Authenticity isn't about perfection. It's about embracing who you are, completely and unapologetically. Think about this. When you meet someone who is entirely comfortable in their own skin, how do you feel? There's a natural draw, an intrigue, a magnetic quality that makes you want to be near them. This is the power of authenticity. When you stop trying to fit into a mold, you start standing out. Stoicism teaches us to live in harmony with nature, and that includes our own nature. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, be content with what you are and wish not to alter it. Desire nothing else. By living authentically, you are aligning with your true self, and this alignment is what creates confidence. When you're confident, you stop seeking validation. When you stop seeking validation, you become someone others are drawn to. It's that simple. But here's the challenge. Being real can feel risky. What if they don't like the real you? What if they reject your vulnerability? Here's a better question. Would you want someone who doesn't appreciate the real you anyway? The fear of rejection often keeps us trapped in pretending, but Stoicism reminds us that rejection is outside our control. What is within our control is how we choose to show up. Imagine walking into a room not worrying about whether people like you, but simply being yourself. How liberating would that feel? The key is to let go of the need to impress. Instead of overthinking your every word or action, trust that your authenticity will resonate with the right people. After all, if they miss the real you, it's because they've connected with something genuine, not a facade. Now take a moment to reflect. What parts of yourself are you hiding? What mask are you wearing to gain approval? And most importantly, is it worth it? The first step to making someone miss you is to show them something real, your true self. No one remembers someone who blends in with the crowd. They remember the person who dared to be different, who embraced their quirks, and who stood confidently in their authenticity. When you start living authentically, something remarkable happens. You attract the right people and repel the wrong ones. The connections you build are stronger, deeper, and more meaningful. And when those people aren't around, they'll feel your absence, because the bond they have with you is real. Authenticity is your foundation. With this, you're not just becoming someone worth missing, you're becoming someone unforgettable. Let this be your first step toward embodying the Stoic philosophy, aligning your actions with your true self, free from fear and full of confidence. But being authentic is just the beginning. Next, we'll explore a powerful principle that takes this idea further: finding strength in solitude. You won't want to miss this. Stay with me. 2. Find strength in solitude. What comes to mind when you think of solitude? For many, it's an uncomfortable thought. We associate being alone with loneliness, rejection, or even failure. But is solitude really a weakness, or have we misunderstood its true power? Ask yourself, when was the last time you were truly alone, without distractions, and embraced it as an opportunity rather than a punishment? If solitude makes you uneasy, let me share a Stoic truth. The ability to be content in solitude is one of the greatest strengths a person can possess. In today's hyper-connected world, we're constantly bombarded by notifications, social media, and endless chatter. The fear of missing out keeps us tethered to this noise, making it difficult to sit quietly with ourselves. But here's the paradox. The more you rely on external validation to feel fulfilled, the less control you have over your inner peace. And the less control you have, the more you push people away. Why? Because dependency is repellent, while independence is magnetic. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." What does this mean for you? It means that solitude is not a void to be filled, but a space to grow. It's in these moments of stillness that you discover who you truly are, what you value, and what you want to become. Solitude allows you to reconnect with yourself, and when you do, your energy shifts. You're no longer someone who needs others to feel whole. You become someone who chooses connections from a place of strength. Now consider this. If you are not at peace with yourself, how can you expect others to be drawn to you? Solitude is the forge where confidence is crafted. When you can stand tall in your own company, without craving the constant presence of others, you project independence. And independence is one of the most attractive qualities a person can have. Think about the people you admire most. Are they the ones constantly seeking attention or validation? Likely not. They are the ones who seem unshaken by external circumstances, the ones who radiate self-assurance. This is the power of solitude. It builds self-reliance, clarity, and a calm confidence that others can't help but notice. When you embrace solitude, you're sending a message. I value myself enough to enjoy my own company. And here's the beauty of it. Solitude doesn't just benefit you, it benefits your relationships. When you step back and give people space, something interesting happens. They begin to notice your absence. Your silence becomes intriguing, and your independence creates a sense of mystery. They start to wonder, what are they thinking? What are they doing? Why aren't they constantly seeking my attention anymore? This isn't a game or manipulation. It's about honoring your own boundaries and allowing others to see your value from a distance. When you stop trying to fill every moment with interaction, you give others the opportunity to reflect on your presence and miss it when it's gone. But how do you embrace solitude without slipping into loneliness? The key lies in mindset. Solitude isn't about isolation. It's about choosing to spend time with yourself to grow, reflect, and recharge. Use this time to explore your passions, develop new skills, or simply enjoy the quiet. When you find joy in your own company, you become a person who doesn't need others to complete you, but who adds value to every interaction. So, let me ask you this. Are you willing to step away from the noise and embrace the strength that solitude offers? Can you challenge yourself to find peace in those quiet moments, knowing they will make you stronger and more self-assured? If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the need to constantly connect, this is your chance to take control. If this resonates with you, I encourage you to take action right now. Reflect on a time when you felt content in your own company. What did it feel like? What did you learn about yourself? Share your thoughts in the comments below and write the phrase "one finds strength in solitude" to affirm your commitment to this transformative habit. And if you're finding value in this journey, show your support by liking this video. Your feedback not only inspires me but also helps spread these Stoic principles to others who might need them. Together, let's build a community of self-aware, confident individuals who are unafraid to embrace their solitude. Next, we'll dive into a habit that complements this idea perfectly: doing your best and letting go. Stay with me, because this is where real freedom begins. 3. Do your best and let go. Have you ever found yourself overthinking every little detail after trying to impress someone? Maybe you analyzed every word you said, every move you made, and questioned whether it was enough. Or perhaps after putting your heart into something, you couldn't let go of the outcome, hoping for the validation you craved. Let me ask you this: how often does holding on to these worries truly change the result? The truth is, we can control only one thing in life: our own actions. The rest is beyond our grasp. Stoicism teaches us this fundamental principle: focus on what you can control and release the rest. In the context of relationships, this means giving your best effort and then stepping back. Not clinging, not obsessing, just letting things unfold as they will. But why is letting go so difficult? It's because we fear the unknown. We fear rejection, failure, or simply not being enough. That fear drives us to hold tighter, to chase harder, and to try to control what isn't ours to control. But here's the paradox: the tighter you cling, the more you push people away. Desperation repels, while self-respect attracts. Imagine this: you've planted a seed in a garden. You've watered it, made sure it gets sunlight, and done everything within your power to nurture it. But can you make it grow? No. Growth happens on its own timeline, governed by forces you can't control. Relationships are no different. You can give your best, showing kindness, honesty, and authenticity, but beyond that, you must trust the process. Epictetus said, "Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish for things to happen as they do, and you will be serene." When you let go of the outcome, you free yourself from the constant anxiety of wondering what comes next. You create space for calm, for confidence, and for self-respect. And that energy, it's magnetic. Think about how others perceive you when you're consumed by the need for approval. It's exhausting to watch someone spiral into overthinking and self-doubt. On the other hand, consider the impact of someone who is at peace with themselves. They've done their part, and they're not waiting on anyone's validation. That kind of presence is unforgettable. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you give up. It means you've placed your energy where it matters, on your effort, and left the outcome to unfold naturally. This isn't a passive surrender. It's an active choice to prioritize your peace over your fears. Imagine reaching out to someone, expressing your feelings honestly, and then releasing the need for a specific response. Wouldn't that be liberating? It shifts the power dynamic. Instead of waiting for their reaction to dictate your worth, you've already affirmed your value by showing up authentically. The rest is up to them. Letting go is also a form of self-trust. It's saying to yourself, "I trust that I've done my best, and that is enough." This mindset creates a sense of independence that others can't help but notice. You're not chasing anyone, and in that stillness, you become someone worth pursuing. Here's another angle to consider. When you refuse to let go, you're holding on to a future that doesn't yet exist. You're trying to control something imaginary. Isn't it better to focus on the present, on what you can actually do? This doesn't just apply to relationships. It's a life principle. Whether it's a career opportunity, a creative project, or even a personal goal, doing your best and letting go creates space for growth and clarity. So the next time you find yourself holding too tightly, stop and ask, "Have I done my best?" If the answer is yes, what else is there to do but let go? This simple question can transform how you approach not just relationships, but every aspect of life. Remember, the freedom to let go isn't just about peace of mind. It's about reclaiming your energy, your time, and your self-respect. And when you're no longer controlled by the need for an outcome, something amazing happens. You start to live fully, unapologetically, and authentically. That's when people begin to notice and miss your presence. In the next step, we'll explore another transformative principle that builds on this idea: accepting things as they are. Stay with me, because this habit is where clarity and strength truly take root. 4. Accept things as they are. How much of your energy is spent wishing things were different? Do you find yourself saying, if only they noticed me more, or if only they felt the same way I do? It's a common trap, isn't it? The endless loop of if only thinking keeps us stuck in a cycle of frustration, longing, and even resentment. But here's the truth. Wishing doesn't change reality, and clinging to fantasies of how things should be only distances us further from the peace we seek. Stoicism reminds us of a fundamental truth. We cannot control other people, their thoughts, or their actions. We can only control how we respond to them. This isn't an easy lesson to embrace. Our hearts often want what our minds know we can't force. But acceptance isn't about giving up. It's about seeing reality clearly, unclouded by emotions or wishful thinking. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Imagine how much freer you'd feel if you stopped fighting against what is. What if, instead of lamenting what you can't change, you embraced it? Acceptance isn't resignation, it's liberation. It's choosing to work with reality rather than resist it. Think about the relationships or situations in your life that bring you the most frustration. Is it because they aren't aligning with your expectations? Ask yourself, am I holding on to an ideal that doesn't exist? Am I trying to force something that isn't meant to be? These questions may be difficult to face, but they're necessary for growth. When you accept things as they are, you stop wasting energy on resistance. You stop trying to rewrite a story that's unfolding differently than you imagined. Instead, you redirect that energy inward toward building resilience and clarity. This doesn't mean you stop caring or that you stop putting in effort. It means you recognize what is within your control and let go of what isn't. Let's consider a common example: unreciprocated feelings. Perhaps you've been chasing someone who doesn't feel the same way, bending over backward to make them notice your worth. You think, if I just do this one more thing, maybe they'll come around. But deep down, you know the truth. Their feelings are not yours to control, and holding on to this fantasy is only prolonging your pain. Acceptance in this context doesn't mean you stop valuing yourself or that you settle for less. It means acknowledging the reality of the situation, however difficult it may be, and deciding to move forward with grace. It's saying to yourself, this is where we are. Now, how do I respond in a way that honors my peace and integrity? But acceptance doesn't just apply to relationships. It's a mindset that can transform every area of your life. Whether it's a setback at work, a missed opportunity, or a difficult conversation, accepting what's happened allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. It clears the emotional fog and gives you the strength to face challenges head-on. Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." When we crave a reality that doesn't exist, we rob ourselves of contentment in the present. By accepting life as it is, we free ourselves from the constant hunger for things to be different. And in that freedom, we find clarity, peace, and even strength. Acceptance also has a surprising effect on others. When you stop trying to control or persuade, you give them the space to come to their own conclusions. You're no longer projecting desperation or clinging to unrealistic expectations. Instead, you're grounded, present, and calm. This energy is powerful. It shows others that you respect their autonomy, and it allows genuine connections to flourish. So what does acceptance look like in practice? It's recognizing the reality of the situation, no matter how uncomfortable it may feel. It's refusing to fight against what is and instead focusing on what you can control, your own actions, thoughts, and responses. And most importantly, it's understanding that acceptance is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to your strength. When you embrace this habit, you'll notice a shift not just in your relationships, but in yourself. The weight of unmet expectations will lift, and you'll find a sense of clarity that allows you to move forward with confidence. This is the foundation of inner peace, a peace that others can't help but notice and admire. From this place of acceptance, you're ready to explore the next transformative habit: trusting the timing. Stay with me, because this principle will show you how to align your actions with patience and purpose, creating space for the connections and opportunities meant for you. 5. Trust the timing. How often do we wish for life to follow our schedule? We long for relationships to unfold quickly, for connections to solidify on our terms, and for feelings to align in perfect harmony. But here's the hard truth. Life and love doesn't operate on a timeline we can dictate. The more we try to rush or force outcomes, the more we disrupt the natural flow of things. Ask yourself, have I been patient or have I been trying to control the clock? Stoicism teaches us to let go of this need for control and instead trust the process. Marcus Aurelius reminds us time is a sort of river of passing events and strong is its current. No sooner is a thing brought to sight than it is swept by, and another takes its place. In other words, life moves at its own pace. Fighting against the current only leaves us exhausted, while trusting the timing allows us to navigate with grace. Think about a time when you rushed to connection. Perhaps you pushed too hard for someone to notice you or tried to accelerate the pace of a budding relationship. What happened? Likely, the pressure created resistance, and the connection didn't unfold as you'd hoped. The truth is, people need time and space to come to their own conclusions. And when you try to control the timing, you inadvertently take away their ability to see you clearly. Now consider the opposite. Imagine stepping back, showing up authentically, and allowing things to develop naturally. When you trust the timing, you give others the freedom to reflect on your presence without feeling overwhelmed or pressured. You create a sense of ease and confidence that is both rare and attractive. But trusting the timing isn't about passively waiting. It's about actively aligning your actions with patience. Ask yourself, am I doing everything within my control to nurture this connection while allowing it the time it needs to grow? If the answer is yes, then you've already done your part. The rest is out of your hands. Patience also allows you to notice the signs that something might not be meant for you. When you're rushing, it's easy to overlook red flags or ignore the reality of a situation because you're too focused on the outcome you want. But when you trust the timing, you're better able to see things as they are. You develop the clarity to recognize when to invest your energy and when to walk away with peace. Imagine planting a garden. You wouldn't expect seeds to sprout overnight, nor would you dig them up every day to check their progress. Instead, you water them, give them sunlight, and trust that they will grow in their own time. Relationships are no different. By forcing the process, you risk uprooting something that could have flourished naturally. Epictetus said, "There is a limit to the time assigned you, and if you don't use it to free yourself, it will be gone and never return." Trusting the timing isn't just about relationships, it's a way of living. It's about recognizing that each moment holds its own purpose, and that by rushing you miss the beauty of what's unfolding right now. So, how do you start trusting the timing? Begin by releasing your attachment to outcomes. Remind yourself that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Practice patience by focusing on what you can control, your own growth, your own actions, and your own mindset. Let the rest take its course. When you trust the timing, you cultivate an energy of calm confidence. Others will sense that you're not chasing or clinging, you're simply present, grounded, and secure. And that energy is magnetic. It draws people in because it creates a space where they feel free to explore the connection on their terms. If this resonates with you, take a moment to reflect. Are you allowing things to unfold naturally, or are you trying to force the pace? Share your thoughts in the comments below and write the phrase "1 Trust the timing" to affirm your commitment to this powerful mindset. And if you're finding value in this journey, let me know by liking this video. It helps spread these Stoic principles to more people seeking clarity and strength in their relationships. Now that we've explored the art of patience, it's time to dive into another transformative habit, kicking out fear. This is where we tackle the invisible force that holds so many of us back from living boldly and authentically. Stay with me, because what comes next could change everything. 6. Kick out fear. Fear. It's that quiet voice that whispers doubts into your mind, the invisible weight that holds you back, and the shadow that follows you in moments when you most want to shine. How often does fear dictate your actions? How often do you hesitate, overthink, or shrink yourself because you're afraid of what someone might think, how they might respond, or whether you'll be rejected? Ask yourself, how much of my life is driven by fear rather than strength? Stoicism offers us a liberating perspective on fear. Marcus Aurelius said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." In other words, fear is not the real enemy. The real danger lies in allowing fear to rob you of your potential, your confidence, and your authenticity. When fear rules your life, you're not living, you're merely existing, held captive by what-ifs. Nowhere is this more evident than in relationships. Think about the times you've hesitated to express your feelings because you feared rejection, or when you held back your true thoughts because you worried they'd push someone away. Perhaps you've sent that overly cautious message, walked on eggshells, or avoided taking risks, all in the name of preserving something you're afraid to lose. But here's the irony. Fear doesn't preserve relationships, it destroys them. When you act out of fear, your energy shifts. You become tentative, unsure, and reactive. People sense this even if you think you're hiding it well. Fear manifests in the little things. The way you second-guess your words, the way you seek constant reassurance, the way you hesitate to fully show up as yourself. This energy can be exhausting for both you and those around you. But what if you chose a different path? What if, instead of letting fear control your actions, you decided to lead with courage? Imagine the freedom of expressing yourself without overthinking, of pursuing connections without the constant dread of rejection, and of being unapologetically you, regardless of the outcome. What would that feel like? Fear often masquerades as a protector, convincing you that its presence is keeping you safe. But safety and stagnation are two sides of the same coin. When you let fear dictate your choices, you may avoid discomfort, but you also avoid growth, discovery, and the possibility of something extraordinary. Stoicism teaches us to confront fear head-on, not by denying it exists, but by understanding its true nature. Fear is a signal, not a master. It reminds you of what matters but does not have the power to decide your actions, unless you let it. Imagine yourself in a situation where you're holding back because of fear. Perhaps it's the fear of saying the wrong thing, or of making a move that could lead to rejection. Now ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? If you look closely, you'll realize that most fears are exaggerations. They're rooted in imagined scenarios, not reality. And even if the worst-case scenario does happen, is it truly as catastrophic as you think? Stoicism reminds us that we are resilient, capable of enduring far more than we often believe. The key to kicking out fear is not to suppress it, but to act in spite of it. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to move forward anyway. Take small steps to challenge your fears. If you're afraid of being vulnerable, try sharing something honest and meaningful, even if it feels uncomfortable. If you're afraid of rejection, remind yourself that rejection is outside your control. What is within your control is your decision to show up fully and authentically. Here's the paradox. The moment you stop letting fear control your actions, you become more attractive, not just to others, but to yourself. There's a quiet confidence that comes with knowing you faced your fears and acted with integrity. People are drawn to those who are unafraid to take risks because it shows strength, resilience, and self-respect. Think of fear as a fog. When it surrounds you, everything feels uncertain, unclear, and heavy. But the moment you walk through it, you realize it was never as solid as it seemed. On the other side of fear is clarity, freedom, and the realization that you are capable of far more than you thought. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of, and how is that fear holding me back? More importantly, what could you gain by stepping into courage? When you kick fear out of your life, you make space for something much greater: confidence, authenticity, and the kind of energy that people can't help but notice and admire. With fear behind you, you're ready to embrace the next transformative habit, harnessing the power of a smile. Stay with me, because this simple yet profound shift can change how others perceive you and how you see yourself. 7. Harness the power of a smile. When was the last time you paid attention to the way someone smiled at you? Did it make you feel warm, at ease, or even curious about them? A smile is a universal signal, simple yet incredibly powerful. But here's a question for you. Do you use your smile as a tool for connection, or do you let your emotions decide when to show it? Stoicism reminds us of the importance of maintaining composure and emotional stability, even in challenging circumstances. A smile is not just an outward expression, it's a reflection of your inner state. It shows the world that regardless of what's happening around you, you remain calm, grounded, and in control. Marcus Aurelius himself believed in projecting calmness, writing, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. A smile embodies this power. Think about this. Life often throws curveballs, especially in relationships. Maybe they didn't respond to your message as warmly as you hoped, or perhaps they seemed distant. Your instinct might be to react with frustration or hurt. But what if you chose instead to smile, not as a mask, but as a conscious act of composure? Imagine how that shift could change not only your energy, but also how others perceive you. A smile signals confidence. It says, "I am not shaken by this. I am in control of my emotions, and I choose to rise above." This is magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who maintain their light even in difficult moments. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about showing that you're resilient and unbothered by the minor setbacks that life inevitably brings. There's a quiet strength in a smile that radiates self-assurance. It tells others that you are not defined by their behavior or by fleeting circumstances. Imagine walking into a room with a calm, easy smile. How do you think people would react? They'd likely see you as approachable, confident, and intriguing, someone worth paying attention to. That's the power of this simple act. But the benefits of smiling go beyond how others perceive you. Science has shown that smiling, even when you don't feel particularly happy, can actually improve your mood. Your brain interprets the physical act of smiling as a signal that you're content, which in turn reduces stress and enhances your overall sense of well-being. In this way, a smile is not just a gift to others, it's a gift to yourself. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of controlling what's within your power. You can't control how others treat you or the outcomes of your efforts, but you can control how you present yourself to the world. A smile is one of the most powerful ways to take that control. It's a statement of inner peace and strength, qualities that naturally attract people to you. Now let's take this a step further. Think about the impression you leave when you interact with others. People rarely remember every word you say, but they always remember how you made them feel. A smile creates a lasting impression of warmth and positivity. It's the kind of energy that lingers, making people miss your presence when you're not around. They'll think, "Why do I feel lighter, more at ease when they're here?" But here's the key. A smile must be genuine. Authenticity is what gives it power. When you smile out of habit or to mask your true feelings, it lacks the energy to connect deeply with others. A real smile comes from a place of confidence and self-assurance, even in difficult situations. It's a reflection of your inner resilience. Let's reflect for a moment. How often do you allow small frustrations or disappointments to steal your smile? What would change if you made the conscious choice to keep smiling, even when things didn't go your way? This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending to be happy when you're not. It means choosing to maintain your composure and radiate calmness in the face of life's ups and downs. When you harness the power of a smile, you not only shift your own energy but also influence the energy of those around you. You become someone who brings light into the room, someone others naturally gravitate toward. And when you're not there, that light is missed. 8. Embrace uncertainty. What do you do when the road ahead is unclear? Do you freeze, retreat, or try to force clarity in a situation that resists it? Uncertainty is one of life's great challenges, and it often feels overwhelming. But let me ask you this. What if uncertainty wasn't something to fear but an opportunity to grow? Stoicism teaches us that the only certainty in life is uncertainty. Everything is subject to change, relationships, opportunities, emotions, even the very ground beneath our feet. Marcus Aurelius reminds us you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This isn't a call to despair, It's a call to action. It's a reminder that life's unpredictability is precisely what makes each moment precious. In relationships, uncertainty often feels unbearable. You don't know where you stand, what the other person feels, or what the future holds. The temptation is to seek guarantees, to demand answers, and to control the narrative. But here's the paradox. The more you resist uncertainty, the more it controls you. The more you embrace it, the freer you become. What does it mean to embrace uncertainty? It means letting go of the need for guarantees and learning to find peace in the unknown. Imagine approaching a relationship not with the question, what will this become? But with the mindset, what can I learn from this right now? How would that change your experience? Embracing uncertainty doesn't mean you stop caring or that you give up on what you want. It means you recognize that some things are outside your control, and that's okay. It's about trusting the process and having faith in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Epictetus said it best. It is not things that disturb us, but our interpretation of their significance. The unknown only becomes terrifying when we decide it should be. Consider this. How much of your anxiety about the future is rooted in stories you've created in your mind? What if they lose interest? What if this doesn't work out? What if I get hurt? These questions, while natural, are distractions from the present moment. They pull you out of reality and into a world of imagined fears. But when you let go of these what-ifs and return to the here and now, you reclaim your power. Uncertainty is not a void, it's a canvas. It's a space where anything can happen, where new possibilities can emerge. When you embrace this, you become more open, adaptable, and resilient. You stop trying to script your life and start living it. Think of the people who inspire you. Are they the ones who cling to certainty, or are they the ones who step boldly into the unknown? When you embrace uncertainty, you project confidence and courage. This energy is contagious. Others will notice your calm presence and admire your ability to navigate life's unpredictability with grace. In practical terms, embracing uncertainty means resisting the urge to overanalyze or seek constant reassurance. It means trusting that the connections meant for you will unfold naturally, and that forcing clarity often does more harm than good. It's about focusing on what you can control, your actions, your mindset, and your responses, while letting go of what you can't. When you embrace uncertainty, you also free others to be themselves. You remove the pressure of expectations and create a space where genuine connection can thrive. People are drawn to those who are comfortable in the unknown because it signals strength and independence. And when you're not there, they'll miss the calm and steady presence you bring. So ask yourself, what am I clinging to? What fears about the future are keeping me stuck? Then take a deep breath and release them. Embrace the uncertainty, not as a challenge to overcome, but as an integral part of life's beauty. As you step into this mindset, you'll find that the unknown isn't something to dread. It's where growth and transformation happen. With uncertainty as your ally, you're ready for the final habit, staying consistent and resilient. This is where all the lessons come together to create lasting change. Stay with me, because this is the foundation of everything we've built so far. 9. Stay consistent and resilient. Think about the goals you've set in your life, the habits you've started, or the relationships you've worked to build. How many of those have been abandoned because they didn't yield immediate results? How many times have you given up not because you couldn't succeed, but because it felt too hard to keep going? Now ask yourself, what would my life look like if I stayed consistent and resilient, no matter the setbacks? Stoicism teaches us that success, whether in relationships, personal growth, or life itself, isn't about grand gestures or fleeting moments of effort. It's about showing up day after day with steady purpose. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Obstacles are not reasons to quit. They are opportunities to grow stronger. Resilience is the key to turning challenges into triumphs. In relationships, consistency and resilience are particularly vital. Connections don't deepen overnight. Trust isn't built in a single interaction. Love, respect, and admiration grow over time, nurtured by steady effort and unwavering commitment to your values. But here's the catch. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It means showing up as your authentic self, even when things get tough. Ask yourself, am I consistent in my actions, or do I let setbacks derail me? Do I give up too quickly when things don't go as planned? Many people approach relationships with bursts of enthusiasm, only to retreat when things don't progress as expected. But true connection requires patience, persistence, and resilience. It requires you to keep showing up, even when the outcome is uncertain. Consider someone who faces rejection but doesn't let it define them. They don't spiral into self-doubt or bitterness. Instead, they reflect, learn, and continue to approach life with an open heart. That's resilience. It's the ability to bounce back stronger, to keep moving forward without losing sight of who you are and what you value. Consistency is also about how you treat yourself. Are you consistently kind to yourself when things don't go your way? Do you stick to your principles, even when it's tempting to compromise? Resilience starts with self-respect. It's about refusing to let external circumstances dictate your worth or derail your progress. Imagine someone you admire for their strength and stability. What makes them stand out? Likely, it's not their ability to avoid challenges, but their ability to face them with grace and determination. When you embody this mindset, you become someone others can rely on, someone they respect and value. And when you're not there, your absence is felt. Let's break this down into practical steps. How can you build consistency and resilience in your relationships and personal growth? First, focus on small, meaningful actions. Show up for the people you care about, even in the little things. Be someone who follows through on their promises. Second, reframe setbacks as learning opportunities. Instead of seeing them as failures, ask yourself, what can I take from this experience to grow stronger? Stoicism reminds us that the path to success is rarely smooth. Seneca said, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Embrace the challenges as part of the process. When you do, you build the kind of inner strength that not only serves you but also inspires those around you. Consistency and resilience are what set you apart. While others may falter, give up, or lose focus, your steady commitment to your values and goals creates a foundation of trust and admiration. In relationships, this is particularly powerful. It shows that you're not swayed by every twist and turn, that you're someone who can be counted on. Finally, remember that resilience doesn't mean never feeling discouraged. It means feeling those emotions, acknowledging them, and then choosing to keep going anyway. It's about recognizing that every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Ask yourself, am I willing to stay the course? Am I ready to show up consistently, even when it's hard? If the answer is yes, then you've already taken the first step toward becoming the kind of person others can't help but admire and miss. With this final habit, you've unlocked the key to transformation. These principles, showing your true self, finding strength in solitude, trusting the timing, and staying consistent, are not quick fixes. They're a way of life, rooted in Stoic philosophy. When you embody them, you not only make others miss you, but also build a life filled with purpose, peace, and authenticity. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If these ideas have resonated with you, share your thoughts below. I'd love to hear about your experiences and how you're applying these principles in your life. Together, let's continue to grow, learn, and live with intention. Until next time, stay true to yourself, and may you find strength in every step of your journey. Congratulations, you've reached the end of this journey, but in many ways, it's just the beginning. The 9 habits we've explored are not about quick fixes or superficial tactics to make someone miss you. They're about building a foundation of self-worth, inner peace, and resilience that transforms not just your relationships, but your entire life. Each habit is rooted in Stoicism, a philosophy that reminds us to focus on what we can control, our actions, mindset, and responses, while letting go of what we cannot. When you live authentically, embrace your solitude, trust the timing, and remain consistent and resilient, you naturally become someone worth missing. You no longer seek validation because your value comes from within, and that is what makes your presence unforgettable. Ask yourself, what is the next step I can take to embody these habits in my life? Remember, transformation doesn't happen all at once. It's the result of small, consistent actions taken every day. It's about choosing to show up for yourself, even when it's hard, and trusting that the path you're walking will lead to the connections and opportunities meant for you. If this journey has resonated with you, let's take it one step further. Share in the comments below. Which of these habits speaks to you the most? What is one way you can begin practicing it in your life today? Your insights may inspire others who are walking a similar path. And if you found value in these principles, consider sharing this with someone who might benefit from it too. Together, we can spread the wisdom of Stoicism and help others discover the power of living authentically and courageously. Thank you for being part of this conversation. Remember, you are the director of your own story, not a character in someone else's. Stay true to yourself, embrace the beauty of imperfection, and trust that everything meant for you will find its way in time. Until next time, stay resilient, and may you find peace and strength in every moment.